technical interview is unlike any other job interview. It's a tough and rigorous process that tests your coding skills, problem-solving abilities, and personality. But it can get a lot easier if you're well prepared and know what to expect. Join Interview Kickstart's co-founder, Ryan Vallis, in a 1-hour interactive webinar on how you can crack technical interviews at top tech firms the Interview Kickstart way. We have helped over 5,000 engineers receive life-changing offers from FANG and Tier 1 tech companies in the US. Your dream company is just one step away. Sign up for a webinar today.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, could you share screen? Open one document will be fine.
Very well. I just shared with you. I just shared with you Google. Yeah.
Okay. So when is your interview coming?
Soon.
1 week, 2 weeks, how soon?
I didn't have time to really prepare.
Okay. So tell me about your background. Which area you work on?
Okay, so I'm working on embedded systems, but I'm working on high-level application. I'm doing a display. I'm working in Virgin Galactic, so I'm doing a display for spaceship and doing different flight program for pilot. Before that, I lived in Israel, and we were developing also for avionics head-up displays and digital map and everything for avionics. So everything was on embedded systems.
I see. So what's your coding language?
C++. Yeah, C++ mostly.
Do you also using C?
I know C a little bit, like everybody. I learned C and I know C.
How many years coding experience?
A lot of years. 12, but I was a manager for many years. So I was not, some of the time was not really hands-on coding.
I see. Okay. For your system, you're working with display. What's the interface for display? What's hardware interface?
What is the interface?
Yeah, hardware interface. What's the cable? What cable you are using?
I don't know what they're using. I think ARINC. You know, ARINC is a standard of aviation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the bandwidth speed they can transfer data?
What is the speed of transfer of data?
Yeah.
30 hertz, I think.
I mean,
yeah, how fast is the data? I don't know. I'm not really.
How many byte data, how many megabyte data they can transfer? So display, then.
I don't know. For me, I'm developing. You know, it's not really an issue. How many?
I see. How many memory do you using? How do you manage your memory usage?
We don't have really. It's giga. It's in giga. We don't really have any like big limits on memory. I had more limits memory before that. We had, I don't know, I think half giga memory and.
So how do you use the memory? How do you partition the memory? What's the usage? So for 1 gigabyte, half gigabyte memory. So what's the code size? What's the main data structure? So how do you use the memory?
Okay, so Here it's more soft embedded, but where I use when hard embedded, where I use the memory. So all the allocation of the memory is in the initializer, in it mode. So you always know what is your memory, and you don't, your partition is always in this limit of the memory, and you don't have memory during running time. And you
Yeah.
all the
At
allocation.
boot up time, you partition the memory. How do you partition memory? How do you assign memory to different resource?
How my partition assigned, or how in the system?
Yeah, the system. You have memory, different module, different component using
Yes.
different amount of memory.
Everything is configured in the running of the real-time system. So the system knows the priority of each partition when it runs after.
What's the top one user? Who use the most memory?
Who use most of the memory? I think it was my partition.
So what's the usage for? How many do you use?
Okay. It depends on which one of them, but when I use a digital map, most of the memory we used was for holding data of the map of different databases like waypoints, airports, helicopters. So
I see. For the new job you are interview, is the managing position?
No. It's a software.
Embedded software, embedded engineer,
Yes.
embedded firmware. You want to focus on embedded system, right?
Yes, and they also have 1 hour of embedded systems. I don't know what can you ask about, like embedded system to design.
Yeah, embedded system. So I want to ask, for example, what's the frequency? What's the clock frequency your CPU running? What's the interface I/O frequency? What's I/O speed, I/O bandwidth? If they ask this question, are you comfortable or not?
Okay, so I/O speed is the same. It depends on
Yeah.
where
You give
I'm
one
getting
example.
my
Just
data.
tell me. They want you tell me one system you're familiar with. Tell me about the hardware configuration, software.
Okay.
How do you use the memory?
Mm-hmm.
How do you use the resource? What kind of resource do you have? Maybe right now you can share the screen. I can see your document from the Zoom meeting too.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Just a minute.
You can take a note. You can type the question I have. Maybe later you can research to find out more details. First question they ask, maybe tell me about your current project.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
current project. Current project. If you have embedded system, tell me about the hardware configuration. For example, what the CPU you are using, what the frequency, which version of CPU, how many core. You can type the question down. You don't know it's fine. Just type the question, right?
Okay.
From hardware point of view, I want to know this information. Number of CPU, number of memory, how many CPU, how many memory. Yeah, how many memory. You have what's the networking interface, basic I/O interface, any I/O interface. You have display port or display interface.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I/O memory, networking. What's the networking interface you have? Okay, this. Then the hardware point of view, we have this. Then later, maybe they have other microcontroller. Do they have how many microcontroller? Any other microcontroller?
We don't have no.
Yeah. Even if it don't have, it's fine. Any sensor in this device.
In this particular sensors, like speed sensors and
Yeah. Any sensor, any other I/O connection. Okay, this is
On
then
my
talk
previous, I had the sensors that were, so it was like sensors that was taking a picture.
Okay. Let's go back to software. Do you using Linux kernel image? What kind of kernel you are using?
Here, Linux.
Yeah. Linux, the system you code running the Linux user space or Linux kernel device driver?
User space.
Okay, user space application.
Yes.
So yeah.
And
User
before
space.
it was VxWorks, but also user space application.
Okay. For user space application. So what API do you use to talk to kernel?
Which API do I use to talk to kernel?
Yeah. Any user space application need to call some system API. For example, fopen, open file.
For files, for opening the ports, for communication.
About the display port, what API you using? How do you write data to display port? We need display interface.
How I display?
Yeah. So what API you using to write data to display? How do you, for example, if I need to show my image to the display, how do I show my image to display?
I understand your question. So when I use image to display, it's not that I'm just drawing the image into some buffer, and this buffer is displayed by GPU. Is processed and displayed.
Yeah, what API you using? What library do you using?
GL.
So you can list the API library. Give me the one API you are using, for example. Give me one API you using most frequently. Write down one line API code.
I'm barely talking to my system, my operating system. It's
then
like,
what other API you are using? Do you use any API in your code, application code? Do you remember any API you're using in your application code?
When you say API, you mean when I'm talking
the function is not written by you, by other people, means API. Any function is not written by you.
OpenGL functions.
Okay.
They're
using
not
OpenGL library.
Yes.
So give me one example OpenGL API you're using.
Yeah, I don't know, draw or GL draw, or GL polygon, GL vertexes, whatever.
Oh, you need to draw this? Wow. You need, okay. I see. You are using this API to draw this, okay. Then for this API, okay. So you in order to draw two lines. Yeah, the API draw two lines. How do you draw two lines and show?
Oh, I draw
Maybe
two
how
lines.
do you draw a star then show?
I don't really do it. I use GL Studio to but it's GL start line, GL vertex. So you don't give the vertex, and GL end.
Yes, the API. Then write down the API. Yeah, write down whatever API you're using. I want to draw two parallel line. Yeah, just draw any two line. Okay. Right now you have single line. This is one line, right? Then I draw another line. How do you draw two parallel line? Just copy paste the code two line.
If I want a parallel line?
Yeah. Two line.
I need to start here again. Or forward.
Okay.
Okay.
How do I draw the clock? Hey, let's see. Let's say draw a clock. Two line. One line is hour line. One is minutes line. How to move the clock every 1 hour and 1 minute?
Oh, okay. So you want the line to move each one?
Just a clock. One is hour line. One is minute line.
Mm.
You need to update this image every 1 minute.
Mm. Okay, so first of all, I need to move it each time 1 degree, right? So the middle point is always the same. For example, 0, 0. And the second
only the hour and the minutes. One is hour line, one is minutes line.
So 2 lines, one for hours, one for minutes.
Yeah.
So the minutes line will move 60 times in a minute.
Yeah. Hours is, yeah.
And the hour line will move how many hours? 12 hours, and we need to divide 13 degrees each hour. Or we move the hour line each minute or each
every minute. Every
we
minute.
can move our line also each minute, and then we need to move it. So the minute line will move 6 degrees each. We need to move each 6 degrees, and then we need to calculate how many it will be in the.
Yeah, although assume they all move, one is often alpha degree, one is beta degree. The two arguments, one is alpha, beta. Then how do you update this display?
How I do it, like here, the card?
Yeah.
Hours? We are talking in minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then both of them are here.
Same, yeah. Both move redraw every minute, yeah. Then this one sleep. After finish draw, one sleep or no? How do we use? Very hard.
And this one will have 12, right? Because we have 12 hours on our watch.
Yeah, if you redraw, how do you clear how do you clear all the line? The automatically cleared?
Yeah, I do. There is in OpenGL functions that says that clears the buffer of the GL. Clear buffer, I think.
So when do
clear
you call that
buffer.
API clear? When do you call clear?
When I call clear, if I am deciding that I'm drawing each, I can decide that I'm drawing each cycle. Doesn't matter what is, how fast is my system works. So you have a you have 2 buffers, the one that you're always drawing and the second one into the one that you are drawing. So you can decide that you are doing it each cycle. You just clear the buffer and draw, and then you don't do this for, you are coming and you see like what is really the hour. You can take an API from clock and decide what is the hour. And
wait. For this case, if I draw, they have latency, right? The code need a latency. Maybe when I show, maybe it's time will have even. What's the latency when you run this code?
Yes. So I need to say to him. I understand your question. Just a minute. So I'm coming.
Maybe minutes is okay.
cycle.
It's not so accurate. So
Yes,
you cannot see it. Just take 1 second, but still is. If
So
it display per second, it's very hard. Maybe second is still okay based on how fast your CPU run.
Okay, so I take time from the CPU, right?
Yeah.
So I take time from the CPU and I just...
For example, this for loop take how long to finish? If you just run one loop take how long? What's the latency?
Is this loop how fast it will end?
Yeah.
No, it's not correct because this loop will end in one cycle. It's fast.
Yeah, they keep running. Then we need to sleep.
So what I need to do is I need to take some time and from system. I
Okay.
don't know, from some system API. I don't know
Okay.
time, and then I need to decide to do some calc hour and minute. So I
Okay.
need to take the minute, and then according to the hour and a minute, I will have to update
Update the object.
my 0.6 and 1. So it doesn't matter how fast, I don't know, I'm running 30 hertz. So each cycle, I will just update my lines, and they will be fast enough updated.
Okay. 30 hertz is fast enough than human eyes can see it. Suppose the code can finish in
I think it's good enough, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You handle this. Did you write a code to handle interrupt before?
Not really. But yes, what interrupt is for what? For switching switching between different processors.
When interrupt could be IO interface, the give interrupt, or timer interface can be interrupt.
Yes. Reading from files, right?
Yeah.
Or it's reading from files. Is it called interrupt or a system call? System call is
System call.
Yeah, so system call. Yes.
Yeah, system call to read from file.
Yes. Interrupt from different
Networking interface.
Click on the bezel. Click on the screen. It can also come as an interrupt from operating system. When the pilot click on
Yeah, for embedded system, what else do they cover? So what's your definition of embedded system?
What was what, Mike?
What's your definition of embedded system?
Definition?
What's your definition? What's your understanding of embedded system?
What was my understanding?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
For embedded system. So based on the word, English word embedded system, what it means? If you tell my child what's embedded system, how do you tell your child?
Okay, so it's a system that is closed. It has some purpose, and in real-time embedded systems, we know the time of the response from the system. So it's in the system real-time operating system is time-based, and it's not like a Windows, which is just gives a priority to different processes. And yes, you can define processes, but still it can decide that it gives different priorities. In embedded systems, it's clock-based, and everything is very defined by user.
Okay. How many different real-time systems do you know?
I know it's there is like enormous number. Washing machine, I don't know, ATM, avionics system, a car system, whatever.
Unix is Unix system is real time or not?
Unix system? I'm not sure. I don't think so. It can be based on.
Do you know? I mean, do you know, for example, VxWorks?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah, some VxWorks, they have thread, VxWorks, QNX.
Yes. What is the question?
Yeah, okay. So for different real-time operating system, what the kernel image size?
I don't know. I guess it's small.
Small, how small?
Small as it can be.
Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte?
Megabyte.
Okay. What about the Linux kernel? What's the size?
In
Size
regular
of Linux kernel?
Linux kernel,
Yeah.
gigabyte.
Okay, 1 gigabyte. Embedded system could be 1 megabyte. Okay. Any smaller image? For example, let's see. The iPhone, iOS image, what's the size?
Sorry, what is what size?
iPhone.
Yeah.
For iPhone, for example, iOS image.
What is size of iOS image?
Yeah, iOS image.
Gigabyte.
Yeah, around gigabyte. For the washing machine, what's the image size for washing machine?
Mega. To couple of megabytes.
Maybe some washing machine running Windows inside, right? Maybe. Do they running Windows?
No, it's not. I don't think it have some real operating system. Maybe some clock that changes between the processes.
Some embedded system they do run Windows. Do you know
Really?
any embedded system run Windows?
Yes, they can. I met one. We had some project for helicopters that was running Windows, and but it was it has a lot of problems because of the response time.
Okay. So what problem do you see? Tell me one problem. Do you see? You see this? You see a lot of problem. Tell me one.
One problem, the response time was not knowing. It was sometimes it could crash.
Why? What's the root cause?
Memory. I think memory problems were and undefined behavior.
Run out of memory, or what's the reason? Memory leak? What's the memory problem?
I think it was a memory leak.
How do you avoid memory leak?
How do I avoid memory leaks? First of all, do not allocate memory during runtime. You avoid memory leaks. Delete. Try to delete. Manage. If you do, then try to manage your memory. Always use delete after you're using it, or you know that you don't need it.
So for this, your 8-line code, where is the memory create? Where is the memory delete?
Today. So because of this, so it's an infinite loop program, and when it ends, you just shut down the program, so you don't really need to have very.
I mean, for this A line code, you write here in this Google Doc. Where is memory allocate? Which line code allocate memory?
In this code?
Yeah.
Where is the memory allocation?
Yeah.
On the heap? Where do you mean where?
Yeah, when do they get the memory
When?
get delete? Yeah, when they allocate, when they get delete.
When they...
Yeah, for this A line code, simple, whatever you written here.
So if it's just in memory in the... If it's some function, it's just stuck memory that just dies after the it's going out of the of this function.
I have to create a line. When do you draw the image? How do you draw? Maybe you have draw the 1 line, 2 line. When do you display?
Yeah. No, but when you are doing the GL draw, you already you're already drawing into the buffer, or into the buffer that is allocated for the drawing, right?
Okay. So memory allocate the buffer. Then when there is a when, so I want to understand when the memory get allocated, when the memory get deleted. Do you have examples?
All the memory when it's
when the memory get allocated?
When we start all the memory or not when we have the allocation of the memory in the init phase of the program. So everything initialize the buffer and its size and
okay.
The heap and the stack, everything is allocated on.
Okay. When you're using C++, do you using any standard C++ library?
So I was not using standard libraries of C++ because it was too. It was not really permitted in the avionics system in hard embedded system.
Okay.
But
so what library do you using? Beyond the OpenGL, any other library you are using?
Which library I'm using?
Yeah.
For what? For the OpenGL?
For your code. Your code must link with many libraries.
Yes. STD, I don't know. Now I'm using STL also. I'm using STL for map for different structures.
How about
mass
atomic data type? Do you using atomic?
No, I don't use atomic data type. What is this when you allocate registers?
No, atomic, maybe register. You want to allocate maybe mutex. Do you want to create a mutex log?
I have one really threaded running. Yeah, but I use mutex.
Using mutex. How many threads you are using?
Today I'm using one thread, but in the map, for example, we had 2 threads. One thread was the main thread, and the one thread that was with less priority. So it was running only in case the main thread hasn't had enough time and left him time to run. So you had the main. For example, you had the 33 seconds. The main one, you took 25, then it left 8 seconds for the second thread to run.
Okay. So only 2 threads. How many CPU do you have?
1.
Only 1 CPU?
Yes. And we were thinking before that we will go to 2 CPUs, but 2 CPUs creates different problems in certifying it was certified DO178 program, and so it's creating different problems with certification because you need to really explain how all this parallel works in parallel, how two programs run in parallel, and it's complicated for avionic world.
I see. Okay. Do you know which team you're going to interview with?
No. How do I know? How will I know that?
Sometimes people ask you, okay, this team interesting your background.
No, they didn't tell me. They told me that I'm interviewing, and then if you ever can pass the Google interview, then you going through a couple of managers and you choose.
Okay. So they didn't tell you. So didn't look at your background. No manager look at the background yet.
No.
I see. Okay. So we have maybe 20 more minutes. So what question do you want to ask me?
So what do you think? I don't know, when they say, I understand your question. I was not really embedded firmware.
Yes.
And
So
I guess
so you need to sell your strengths. Tell me what you're good at. They want to find a position to match you. Basically, after they ask this point of view, you give you 20 more minutes. You have a chance to sell you're good at.
Okay.
So at the beginning, maybe try to ask different generic embedded system, embedded questions.
Mm-hmm.
So multi-thread programming. So what else?
But multi-thread programming is not something that is explicitly real-time embedded. I think on the contrary, real-time embedded tries not to use as much threads, and
you will fix number thread. Maybe you still have 4 CPU, have 4 thread, one dedicated each.
Yes, but they don't really. It's not like a large scale systems when you have one database and I don't know 100 threads that they're trying to read from it.
But you also have multiple threads that try to write different I/O interface. Maybe 2 thread write to maybe storage. 2 thread write to networking interface.
Okay,
dedicate.
So they can ask me some concurrency, some
yes.
questions.
But for what you tell me, you only use one CPU. Basically, you never using multiple CPU before. The people will not ask more detail for that. Since you never worked in this area before, okay, I know you don't have this area of knowledge. The people will not ask. People ask how many CPU. Is it only one CPU, one thread? That's what even 2 thread doesn't work.
But it's true. I have one thread that works, or 2 threads, and one CPU. I understand that for Google embedded systems, you need at least 10 CPUs simultaneously.
Yeah. So I have more than 2 CPU, more than one CPU. For the system, embedded system. For example, if you want to hire to join my Android team, my phone, you need to understand your phone. How many CPU inside your phone? How do you write the software for your phone?
8 CPUs? How many?
Yeah, could be 8 CPU, could be 4 CPU.
Mm-hmm.
They have different CPUs. They have GPU, CPU, also embedded controller. Maybe 4 different embedded controller. One embedded controller for Bluetooth. One embedded controller for LTE networking interface. So one embedded controller for the SSD driver inside. Yeah, one GPU, maybe from Apple GPU, maybe Intel GPU.
So an embedded controller is also
ARM embedded controller could be Cortex. Yeah.
So you develop embedded controller for SSD or for internet?
Yeah. So some people have background to write an embedded controller for SSD.
Yeah, and I understand that because this is why I'm like, I don't know if I don't know. I don't know why they called me to this particular interview, really, because I understand that their embedded system and my embedded system is two different things. One thing that may be in common is that you need to have a really optimized code and run in some cycle time.
Yeah, you need to understand this. For example, give me a line code. Take how long to finish? How many milliseconds to finish? So how do they write? Maybe they write a buffer, then write to the display. They have another separate API to write the display. There's everything you just write here, just write a buffer, do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe another API to transfer the buffer to display.
Yes.
Maybe call the something show or something.
Mm-hmm. It's not. I don't. Are you sure it's API like show? This is how it works.
Different system. The different system they design. You need to define one API. Must have one API in order to tell them to transfer data from the buffer to I/O interface. You need one API to transfer data from I/O interface. Right now, for example, here what you did could be create object in memory, update the memory, then suppose a separate API to transfer whatever buffer to I/O interface.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that or what I saw till today is that you are writing to buffer, and there is some other, maybe it's even
the
more
background keep refresh. Maybe every because they're facing frame every 30 hertz. Maybe
Yes.
every interrupt coming in,
buffer.
they try to transfer buffer out.
Yes, you refresh the buffer.
They automatically refresh, so you don't need to worry about it. You just keep update.
Yes.
Whatever latest get show in the display. Maybe one cycle later, one cycle before.
One cycle later, yes.
Yeah. What do you write? Maybe one second later, they should get a show. What do you write 1 second later? Okay. How do you set a bit to true? I give you register. How do you set one bit to true?
One
to
bit
1.
to true?
Yeah, 1 bit to 1.
I just move it.
Yeah, how do you write the code?
Yeah.
What's the code? What do you move? How do you move?
What?
If I have x equal face, for example, FACE face.
Like that?
Okay. If you have a register, I give you a register, it's a 64-bit register.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unsigned int 64-bit unsigned int 64, maybe long, unsigned int 64.
Mm-hmm.
64T underscore T. Yeah. X. Yeah. Yeah. X. Variable X equal face. FACE face. You know, and hex 0x fix. Okay. Then how do I set bit 44 to true? To 1. I have X equal face.
Yeah.
Then set bit 44.
Yeah, bit 44.
Yeah.
The one. So bit 44 is, I don't know what number is, 2 in 44. No,
The
just
1. Just a 1 shift 44. 1 shift by 44.
1.
Then I need to set. Okay. That's it. Finished.
Yes.
So why you put a 2 vertical line?
This one?
Yeah. The 2 vertical line. Face, they have 2 vertical line. Or 1 vertical line.
Or?
Yeah. Yeah, 1 vertical line. 2 means logic OR. 1 means bitwise OR. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one means bitwise or.
Otherwise,
So,
it will give me 1, right?
yeah. Then you need to change the 1 to unsigned long. You need to change 1 to unsigned long.
This one?
Yeah, 1 after 1.
Mhm.
0x1, you need to add another 2 special character. ULL. Capital U. Yeah, that's it.
But I
Without,
can do that, right? I can do like U int 64 or not. Even here, I need the.
yeah, you need to unsign long. T, Y equal U, Y equal. You need to unsign long.
I need
UL.
here ULL.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And
Otherwise,
then the Y here.
otherwise it doesn't work.
Okay.
You can change to Y. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
ULL most capital case. Capital U, capital L, capital L.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's C, right?
Yes.
Because if it's in C++, you have to do casting, like cast.
You cast still maybe the cast will be by default you don't define this will be 32-bit. If 32-bit shipped by 44 is out of range, it will become 0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. So can I just cast it?
You don't need if you define LL will be fine. LL means unsigned long 64-bit.
Yeah. Okay. What else can be in bitwise? Questions?
So they will ask you set a bit, clear bit. That's the basic of embedded system. Then C for C plus. Okay. Sometimes they need to write memory barrier. Did you use any memory barrier instruction before?
What is memory barrier?
Means whatever before this line code, it must be written, must be executed. Sometimes compiler will be change the order of execution. For example, A equal 1, B equal 2, 2-line code, simple. You say A equal 1, A 1,
Mm-hmm.
B equal 2.
Mm-hmm.
The compiler maybe said B equal 2, A equal 1, swap the order.
Okay.
Then if you add a memory barrier between these 2-line code, will be guarantee A equal 1 will be set first.
How I do it?
Yeah, after A equal 1 is called memory barrier API.
I don't know what it is. Like this?
Yeah, a different compiler, different system have different memory flash.
Yeah. Okay.
Memory barrier B. Yeah, memory flash, whatever. Memory sink. FLUSH. Yeah. So they will guarantee A equal 1 will be set to 1 first, then B equal 2.
Yeah, but it's more like for really for embedded systems that are really firmware, right?
Yeah, very time sensitive.
Yeah.
Although important, we don't want the CPU because today's CPU they could be run instruction out of order.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to set B equal 2 before A equal 1.
Yes. Yeah.
But if not embedded system, doesn't matter. Both doesn't matter A equal 2, A equal 1, or B equal 2 with the same result. But embedded system were not the same.
When it's important that this when it can be important this can you give me an example?
Yeah. For example, maybe you can say, there's the register have special meaning. When you set A equal 1 means start transfer, DMA transfer data. When set B equal 2 means read the response, read the.
Okay. When he looks at
Yeah. When set equal 1 means start the DMA transfer. When set equal 2, I want to get the response back.
Okay. So when
are you done or not?
No, okay, like it's an interrupt, like you need to give a response. Okay, got you.
Well, I said I need Howard see it. Then I check anything come back. If we change order, anything come back, maybe it's not. I didn't start yet. Maybe return success. Basically, when you talk with Howard, I need to set 1 bit. Howard see it. In order to Howard see it, the flash from the cache. Otherwise, set A equal 1 in the cache. Howard invisible. Maybe A is volatile register. You can this is what defines volatile. You can see it. Maybe it's better you can even just volatile.
When it's volatile, he sees immediately inside the memory. He changes immediately inside memory.
Volatile will be not cached in the based on the compiler. Also based on compiler, we don't cache. Sometimes you want to sync. You have multiple CPU, for example, 2 CPU. Maybe flash the from CPU 1. You want to call memory sync. Make sure second CPU also see it.
Okay.
Maybe in order the device driver interface.
So you only say it's volatile, and then the second CPU knows that you did something in the first CPU.
Volatile maybe is not good enough. Volatile only good for the 1 CPU. If it's more 2 CPU case, you want to do special API defined by the ASIC vendor.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe they provide a special API to sync.
So how 2 CPUs work? Interrupt between them?
There could be interrupt, could be message interrupt. They send a message. Maybe they connect the PCIe bus. The PCIe message send over. If 2 CPU sit in the PCIe bus, the communication goes through message, PCIe message, just networking message.
Okay, and what they wait for each one message?
Yeah, you can send one wait for message. I can say I'm sync, wait for message acknowledgement, come back.
So I'm sending a message and I'm waiting for acknowledge?
Yes. There's a translate to message sent and act.
So my question is, each CPU supposed to do different task, or they're doing the same task?
Different tasks. Maybe you want to communicate. So I finish, for example, drawing the image. I tell another CPU, please rotate the image, then display.
Okay. So I'm calculating how much it needs to be rotate, and the second CPU rotates?
Yeah. Could be they can rotate the image. You just define the parameter. You first draw the object in whatever standard way. Then ask another project re-render the image to another 3D object. You just define the object. Okay, you see object like this. So ideal case, what object, what parameter, what dimension, what size. Maybe you can begin, you just draw the image. Later, you want another CPU to project light on the image to compute the light, different shadow.
Okay, so each one is doing the different OpenGL
operation.
functionals. One is a shader and one is
one is without any shade. Another one add the shade, add color.
Okay.
Another one maybe add a broad background, transparent, project the background in the front.
And then when they are drawing to the same render buffer?
The buffer is their own buffer. I copy buffer to my buffer. I execute, then operate on my buffer. Then I transfer for the buffer to another next CPU that operate on that buffer.
But how
Once they
they
finish,
know how to merge between the 4 images that each one creates? You
final
have
image is the final
that?
product. Final
Yes.
image of the pipeline. Once you finish doing part 1 job, give to me. I continue to part 2 job.
But you have one that draws background, one that draws light, one that draws colors. How do you know which one is like you have, for example, 3 different CPUs are drawing the same pixel. How do you know that it should be that it's not background, that it's actually the vase, red vase, and not blue background? How I know to put which pixel is going in the front?
That could be in, you was A did job 1, then send the whatever output to CPU 2. CPU continue on the top right.
Okay. Oh, so
Yeah.
you have between the CPUs, you know, the sequence of their drawing.
Yeah.
Okay, so first one is background, after that the vase and the light.
Yes.
Okay, okay, I got you.
They can pipeline process.
Okay. So a pipeline process is the one that in the end will be the most, like the delay will be in the pipeline?
Yeah. Delay will be pipeline delay, latency delay, pipeline latency.
But their clock is the same clock, right? They start to do the work at the same time. There is no delay between their clocks, or they have a different clocks.
You can process more data. If you have, for example, you need to do the same things, then I can process more data. You have 100 photo need to process. To filter, maybe YouTube with so many people update the video to the YouTube website. YouTube need to process the video, then remove some image, remove some frame. Maybe detect some image is not good image, you can delete. Classify, for example, I want to classify all YouTube video based on category.
Yes. No, but my question, if you have 4 CPUs and 4 CPUs, like 4 GPUs, doesn't matter. You have there 4 working simultaneously. They have the same timer, right? They have the same clock.
Yeah.
They start the clock, they start the cycle at the same time, right?
We can wait or buffer. You have queue in the between. We don't need exactly the same time. One take 1 second, another one could be take 1.2 seconds. It's fine.
Oh, so they can wait for the pipeline to be...
Yeah, well, once I check, okay, do I have any work to do? I check anything in the queue. If the queue is empty, I just sleep. If the queue is not empty, take one item from the queue, put in my buffer, then operate on it.
It's a one operation that you're doing, right? Something
one
like
operation could be multiple, could be 10 operations, not necessarily one, based on whatever you design.
So what is waiting in the queue is how they know what operations they need to do.
You can put the control word in the front, data with the control word. So this is the data. You can fetch data from this memory location. This control word, please apply this operation.
Yeah, okay. I understand. Okay.